Hello everybody. So it's been a while since I made a video or done anything in terms of getting any information out about my boys and the autism, and I feel as if like we're gonna start doing this again, getting some things out there, and we might try a few different things, but some quirky stuff that the boys do and some scary stuff that the boys do. Natalie and I had gone to a autism convention over the weekend. Natalie went to, she went out, it was like an autism moms convention, really. But I went along, and, I got to hear some of the stuff afterwards, and got to talk to some of the moms also when they weren't in their conference or whatever, and learning whatever the ladies wanted to talk about. But so some of the things that I wanted to talk about is mostly to do with Andrew today. So he's our 9-year-old, and he's on the a little bit more on the spectrum than say Gavin is, and he's, I don't want to say he's not severe, but he's, definitely moderate, and it's more scripting and just in Andrew's land and his own little imaginary world. But he has no concept of, things that, could hurt him, things that he does that just, you would be wondering, like, holy moly, why would you even think that was okay? But here's a few, just to in the maybe a year and a half ago, when we moved into our new house, he decided he was on a Humpty Dumpty phase. And Humpty Dumpty, of course, likes to sit up on the wall, and then he falls off the wall, and he comes apart, right? But it's okay, because he gets put back together. They put him back together in one of the books. So one day, I'm outside in the backyard, and I look up because the screen came falling out of the window upstairs in Andrew's room, and the window opens up, and he's going to sit on the windowsill because he's Humpty Dumpty, and he was going to sing his little song, and then he was going to jump out the window, thinking that, it's all right. It happens in a book, right? We're good. We can do that. So of course, next we had to extra locks on the windows, and then alarms on the windows. If the alarm, if the window opens, alarm goes off, and this thing is piercing on your ears. It just drop you to the ground. So when that thing goes off, he just kind of flops over, and, but at least he's not jumping out of a window from the second story. So, we get that under control, and all right, now we're not jumping out of windows, but yet, what's the next best thing? What's the next best thing? The stairwell, of course. The stairwell that goes from the downstairs to the upstairs, and the railing up there. I'm going to climb up on the railing, and I'm going to throw myself off the railing down to the, the first floor. So caught him on that one a couple times, and, it's like, you got to have eyes in the back of your head to try to make sure that this kid isn't doing anything that it's going to hurt himself. His little brain, it just tells him, no, this is all right. It happens in a book, happens in a cartoon, happens on TV. It's okay. I can do this. And, so, we had to, for a while, it's like, all right, buddy, you can't be upstairs. You can't go up the stairs. You got to stay down here. We got to keep our eye on you. You can play over there. You're just, all of a sudden things that, at that time, he's eight, neurotypical 8-year-old. No, he's not. Is he going to throw himself off a balcony or out a window? No. So, we did our best with that, and that one he's not doing anything like that anymore, right? So no more Humpty Dumpty. We're kind of off of that. And he goes through phases of all, he's Humpty Dumpty. And then he's, Buzz Lightyear. He wanted to be Buzz and do the same thing and fling himself off the second story. Because, in the movie, he jumps off the thing thinking he can fly. So that's okay too, right? Then another one, a recent one, thought he was the old man from Up. So in the movie, and he always, I'm gonna be an old man. I'm an old man. I think I am. I think I'm an old man. Look, is my hair gray? Is my hair gray? Do I have wrinkles? And he made himself a cane out of some, they're not Lincoln logs, but they're, some new type of, it's like a green, these things, and they plug into these purple balls that have all sorts of holes, and he made himself a cane out of it, and he'd walk around with this cane. But then one day we had to take it a step further. He has a chair in his playroom that, it's on wheels. So it goes to his desk, and he was just wheeling himself around the downstairs on the hardwood floor, and he's like, this is my wheelchair, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, okay, fine, bud. Well, he was on that, and we're like, what could happen? He's just kind of wheeling around downstairs. And Natalie and I go upstairs, and we're doing laundry, and, just talking while we're doing the laundry. And then, of course, all we heard was thump, 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 boom, 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 crash. We take off running down the stairs. I knew exactly what he did. And, he opened the door to the basement and decided that, of course, in the movie, if you put the old man gets to ride the chair up and down the stairs, right? They have the chair so that, people that can't go up and down the stairs can go up and down. But guess what? This is not a chair that's electric that goes up and down the stairs. He decided to wheel himself to the edge of the stairs and go over the edge, thinking it was just going to ride down the stairs. Instead, the chair went up over the top of him, and he tumbled down maybe 4 or 5 stairs. So luckily, he did not go too far down the stairs, but the chair went the whole way. We get to the stairs, and he's laying there, and he's like, ow. Not even like, it wasn't like he was, he wasn't hurt, thank God. But he was just like, he goes, my chair broke. It was supposed to take me down. It doesn't matter what we say or try to explain to him that it doesn't work that way, bud. That's not reality. These things that you see, and just because you think it or imagine it does not mean that that's how that's going to work. And, he's never going to understand that. And, so now what do we got to do now? That chair's gone. He can't have that chair anymore. Or, we have a gate from the playroom, so he can't get the chair through either way, So that's my boy, that's Andrew. He's just in his own little world, and I love his imagination. It's just freaking perfect. I would love to live in this world, and he just makes all this stuff up, and it's fantastic. But also at the same time, it's just, you can't take your eyes off him. I mean, we got cameras all over the house now. We got a camera in the playroom. We got a camera in the basement. We got a camera in his bedroom. We got one camera, outside, aimed one direction, another camera going another direction, because I also had him one day. I'm just sitting in the living room, and he was sitting there talking to me for a minute, and I walked away for a second. I came back, and I'm like, where'd he go? Where did he go? And I'm looking around, and I'm running around the house thinking he went downstairs, not downstairs. And he went out the back door and walked over to the neighbor's house. And, he just wanted to go over and say hello, and introduce himself as Buzz Lightyear. But, apparently the neighbors weren't there, and luckily he came right back. He came walking in the back door, and I'm like, where did you go? I went to the neighbor's house. You know, what do we have to do? We got an alarm on that door now. There's an alarm on the back door, you know. And the other doors are locked, and at least the garage door is down, so he can't, even if went out in the garage, you know, at least those doors are down and he can't get out that. But, you know, we got alarms on everything. You know, stuff a lot of people don't have to think about or try to even, you know, comprehend is these kids, you know, we all we all have to try to figure out how to navigate our way through this. And you know, it's just things people, you know, most people don't have to worry about. You know, your kids know better. They're not going to throw themselves downstairs. They're not going to jump out a window. They're not going to just walk out the door and just take off on you. You know, I'll do one more, and then we'll kind of call it a video here. It's starting to get kind of long. I have a Reiki room downstairs. I have, you know, crystals and, you know, whatever, massage table for when I do Reiki for people. And he's like, Dad, I want to go down to the Savage table. I go to the Savage table. I'm like, you want to go down to the massage table, buddy? He's like, yeah. I'm like, fine, you can go ahead and go down. You can hang out on the table, you know. So he goes down, and, you know, I'm like, I better go check on him. So I went down, and, you know, about 10 minutes later, and I checked on him. He's on the table, and he's laying on his back. And I'm like, everything all right? And I'm like, oh, Jesus. I'm like, what's in your mouth? Because this is another thing. We like to put things in our mouth. So I'm like, what are you doing? And he spits out four crystals, you know, all good size, you know, like, you know, like a little egg, or, you know, spheres or whatever. And crying out loud, any of the, I mean, the bigger one, obviously he wasn't going to get that down his throat, but we have swallowed things in the past that we should not be putting in our mouth. And but of course, you know, I had to take all the crystals out of the room until I can get a lock on that door. They're all in another room, in the laundry room now, and because there's a lock on that door. But, you know, it's things like that. It's like, God, buddy, you can't be putting these things in your mouth. You're going to swallow it and you're going to choke on it. And, you know, and along with that, I mean, he was doing things saying he was also Kevin from Up. And one day after the crystal thing, he was over near his Legos, and he was putting Legos in his mouth and going, I'm Kevin, blah, 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 and spitting them out. So thank God he was spitting them out that time. But I have found some things where, you know, where he has swallowed them. He swallowed them. I mean, he said he was a piggy bank one day. I'm a piggy bank. Tried throwing coins in his mouth and swallowing them. I'm like, you're not a piggy bank, bud. This stuff can hurt you. And, you know, so, yeah, you got to keep your eye on him all the time. You can't ever take your eye on him. I mean, off him. And you think you're doing okay, and, you know, that 1 second that you just didn't pay attention, and you know, it terrifies you, because one day he may swallow something that's going to get stuck, or it's going to tear something, or it's going to, you know, and he's really going to choke, or he will throw himself off of something. And you know, you do your best. It's all you can do. And I mean, I know there's other people out there, other parents out there, they're going through things like this, and some is far worse. You know, I mean, Andrew's moderate or mid-level, say, spectrum, you know, not severe, you know, but we still, you know, there's still problems where he, you know, he still gets upset and he still attacks, but or tries to hurt other people, but it's not as bad as say it used to be, or it's not as often. But yeah. But either way, this is, you know, might be the beginning of another set of videos here. I might just kind of keep going on with it. Also, I'm looking at my video here and I'm seeing myself in the video, and I watched one of my old ones earlier, and you know what? My beard wasn't this gray. It wasn't this white. God, it's only been a couple years. What happened? Wow, I got old. All right. Well, anyway, okay. We'll see you later. Bye.